Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Tuesday, December 3rd, and we have had some earnings come across the wire this morning from Bank of Nova Scotia, which is a Canadian bank, Scotia Bank. They posted earnings that missed estimates based on higher expenses and taxes than anticipated. So although the profits were a beat, they were a miss according to analyst expectations. So that stock is down in the pre-market. But if we take a look at the indices overall, we're seeing that the Dow is down slightly. Looks like it's pretty much even. Same with the S&P. It's up slightly, but pretty much even. And the NASDAQ as well, down slightly. The Asian markets, however, are doing very well. So if we look to the Asian markets as kind of some insight into where we might be going, we can see that they're all up significantly on the day, and that could be a positive sign. The other thing to look at is if we go over to the Yahoo Finance app, if we scroll across to crude is up $1.14. So this should pull oil stocks up today, which is positive. And I think we're going to see a reversal. Yesterday, the Dow had a down day, and today I think we could see the Dow have an up day. We also see the VIX down at 13. That's almost the lowest it's been throughout the year. It's entering the all-time low category. I think it was down at 12 at some point. I'm not sure if it got below 12, but we can have a look at that year to date. Yeah, okay, so it was in the 12 range. It's now at 13, so clearly getting down to super low levels. If we take a look and scroll through the list of stocks we follow, yesterday was a great day for a lot of stocks on the NASDAQ. So I'm not sure if today will follow or it will be even or it'll pull back a bit. But that's what we have to watch for in the open to see what the move is in the greater index, and then we can look at individual stocks. What we did see yesterday was retailers had, for the most part, a pretty positive day. You can see it's green across the screen in yesterday's numbers. With a small pullback today in a couple, Dollar General down 29 cents going in, and they, I believe, announced results in 2 days, so they're coming out this week. We've got Home Depot, but it's at 426. It was off yesterday. It's still up in some pretty high territory, in my opinion. Nike and Foot Locker just made a deal where their Foot Locker is going to carry Nike shoes again. That's been an ongoing battle, apparently, and not that one I was aware of, but ongoing battle. So that should lift Nike today up into the 80s, I believe. And then your healthcare stocks just kind of hovering in the range that they've been trading in. We get down to transport, going to move past that. Not a lot to look at there. But if we get down into oil, I think what we should see here is we've got Chevron up 89 cents in the pre-market, Valero up 71 cents. These stocks started off weak yesterday, down in the red, and then came back, some of them to get into the green, others just in the red at close, but only to a minor extent or percentage. I think we're going to see these stocks take off today if crude remains high. Now, crude has the ability to turn on a dime, crude futures. So just beware of that. But if it continues to kind of find a happy place in the mid $69 range today, I think it's going to pull up the crude stocks. So keep an eye on crude if you're going to trade the individual stocks and watch what it's doing and see if there's a correlation that you can draw between the individual stock and the index. Now moving down into tech. So yesterday, most semiconductor stocks had a great day. Not all of them. Micron was up, but it didn't have a great day. It looks like it's up today in the pre-market. So what I'm looking for today are if the NASDAQ goes higher, I want to look for a stock that really hasn't moved upwards with yesterday's move. And Micron would fall into that category. I might also look for a buying opportunity on anyone that did move or hasn't moved that pulls back a bit. CRM obviously has results out later today. So at market close, we're going to hear from CRM. I think we're going to see this stock get to 345 after hours today. I'm expecting positive results out of CRM. I don't own a lot of CRM right now, but might look at taking a small position in that and seeing if I can catch a bit of an uplift in the earnings report. If we scroll down further, Cloudflare had an incredible day yesterday. Sold some options, some February 2025 options, made a tidy little profit on those yesterday. But this stock shot up. It was as high, I think, as 109, if I'm not mistaken. It was up in the high 100 to 110 range, and then it dropped down to settle at 105. Looks like it's up, but only slightly again today. But a $5 move, that's a 5% move on that stock yesterday. Scrolling down further, Microsoft now back at 430. So what did I say? I said a few weeks ago when it was at 418, this is a stock to buy if you want to hold it for a couple of weeks and you want to get to 430. And sure enough, it got to 430. So another great call there. ARM had an incredible day yesterday, up $6. Didn't see that one coming. I don't trade a lot of ARM. I'm a little fearful of the volatility. It is so volatile, and I do believe it's overpriced. So I stay clear of that one right now. On semi had a good day. It looks like it's pulling back slightly today. The narrative in the market today is around the PC upgrade refresh cycle in 2025. There's a belief with this, what's going on with the CEO changes. So yesterday we saw some huge CEO changes. First of all, Gensler from Intel was retired. So he announced retirement, or the board announced his retirement. So the board pushed him out. And then the CEO from Supermicro was let go from the board and is going to be replaced. So those are two big CEO changes. That sent both stocks higher yesterday, hoping for better things from new CEOs. But there's also now this talk around Intel. Intel receives the money from the US government for the CHIPS Act, either today or this month. That gets finalized, and a new CEO possibly talking about some sell-offs of different business units within Intel, and then the restrictions imposed by taking this money from the US federal government through the CHIPS Act to not have any share buybacks over the next 5 years. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out, but the underlying narrative is, are we going to finally see a PC refresh cycle? So going back to 2020, 2021 during COVID, when everyone started working from home, everyone started getting laptops so that they could work from home. And that drove a PC refresh cycle that was kind of unexpected and unplanned for. And now we're 4 to 5 years out, and we're probably going to start to see that again. And that could lift stocks like AMD. So AMD is getting a bit of an uplift today. Again, if we look at AMD, this is a stock that's been up in the 210, 211 range earlier this year and is now down in the 140s. So this has a long way to go in terms of its highs. The 52-week range up to 227, the low down to 116. So AMD might be an interesting one to play now, going into the Christmas rally, the Santa Claus rally, and going into the new year 2025. We've also got EA. EA has kind of exploded recently. This stock was trading in the $120 to $135 range for the longest time. It just, in that range from 120 down here to 135 up, where were we? Up in this area. It just hovered there and it got kind of stuck, and now it's exploded out of that and is up into the 166. I think it's a little pricey right now in that range, but I'm not touching that one right now, but I used to own EA quite a lot, especially during COVID, when gaming was on the uptick and on the rise with people being at home and having less things to do outside of the home. We get down into Lam Research. Lam Research had a great day, almost up to $80, so that looks like it's going to pop again today. And I think in the 70 range, Lam Research is a steal. This should be $100 and $120 stock. So we'll see if it gets back there in the new year. I'm not sure it'll get there in December, but definitely expecting it to continue its move higher. We do need to see a pullback in Tesla. The run-up in Tesla has been ridiculous. It is not justified, in my opinion, and it's all on news rather than data and facts. So I would be shorting Tesla at this point where it is at 357, looking for a pullback down to the low 300s, if not maybe the 280s. So I'm staying away from that. Meta was an all-star. So I was buying into Meta and recommending it to you guys yesterday even, in the 570s, but prior to that in the 550s the week before, and this stock is now shot up into the 590s. So you've done extremely well if you followed our advice here and bought into Meta, which was oversold. Google as well. Google has been doing well, had a great day yesterday. And TSM, definitely a huge winner, up $9.74 yesterday. I was recommending this when it was in the 180s, and that was yesterday and the week before as it dropped down into the 184, 185 range. And if you got in at that or even lower into the lower 180s, you've done extremely well in the last 2 weeks. So I hope you were following, and I hope you were listening to that advice. SoFi came off its high yesterday, dropping down into the $15 range, but it's going to recover. This is a buy opportunity, in my opinion, with SoFi. It has had a large run up, so let it kind of find its new norm, but I do believe this stock has much further to go. And it would be a long-term purchase as opposed to a day or swing trade purchase. And then the rest of the financials, for the most part, yesterday pulled back. Again, I'm not really doing much in financials these days. I think their valuations are too high, and I don't think their earnings in January are going to support those valuations. So I expect a further pullback, and I would get back into them on a further pullback if it happened ahead of earnings, so that I could get a bit of a spike in January on earnings. But right now, I'm staying clear of these. We heard from Bank of Nova Scotia, as I mentioned at the start of this video, that they missed on earnings, so their stock is down in the morning pre-trading session. That's where we are today on December 3rd. If you like these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. Tell someone about it who might be interested in learning about the market. If they've got a New Year's resolution coming up for the new year to learn more and invest their own money and get their money to work for them, I'd love to help educate them on how to do that. Good luck with your trades today.